This is Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano, and you are listening to the Bob Culture Podcast.
Guys, it's time to talk Wrestlepalooza. WWE had a massive event, Wrestlepalooza in Indianapolis last night, and well, it was a spectacle. I saw some mixed reaction online. I actually enjoyed it. I want to know what you guys thought for sure, but we opened up with this ESPN meets WWE package, which I thought was pretty cool. If you think about it, and I know there's relationships in the past, but to see ESPN cover WWE the way it does and pro wrestling, that's not something you would see as much in the past. You wouldn't really see like a WWE marquee moment or, you know, title change on the SportsCenter Top 10. Now people are literally getting notifications with the ESPN sound about Wrestlepalooza, about the results, and it's a different world, and it's very cool to see those worlds meet. Because I always say, yes, we know it's predetermined. Yes, we know it's scripted, but these are athletes, and I see it every weekend on the Independents. These are athletes, incredible athletes that can do crazy, incredible things. I do want to talk about, of course, the women's match, Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer, in just a little bit. But the way the night opened with that nice video package, I thought was great. And then we have Triple H welcome us all in, which I thought was very, very cool. It was just, they made it feel big. Not WrestleMania big, but it crossed my mind how important they made it feel and how big that they made everything feel here at Wrestlepalooza. So we open up with Brock Lesnar versus John Cena as announced. I think Lesnar comes out first, then you have Cena, and I think he has only 4 or 5, I want to say 4 now, appearances left. Let that sink in till December. You know, John Cena has kind of defined my fandom. He was never my favorite guy, but he was kind of the main character in all of this ruthless aggression to where we are now. And only 4 dates. That's crazy. You know, I know we talked in the past about who potentially could be his last opponent. And he has this massive entrance here with all the kids coming out with him dressed in the Indianapolis John Cena gear, which I thought was really, really cool. It was a nice moment. It was a little bit emotional. It was cool to see the kids just like run on the stage with him to either side, and the kids get to experience that moment. They all had the towels and the hustle, loyalty, respect, yellow T-shirts. So I thought that was very well done. And then we get to the actual match. We're doing the introductions. Shout out Alicia Taylor, I believe, who did a fantastic job throughout the whole night. Also a drummer. Just shouting that out here on the Downbeat Beatdown. But Brock Lesnar is about to get introduced, and none other than Paul Heyman comes into the equation. And I got to eat some crow here, and I told her I would shout her out. But we were watching SmackDown, Vicious Vicky and myself, and who was our guest last week here on the X, shout her out. But she had said when Brock was on SmackDown that he's going to do something with Paul Heyman again. And I'm sitting there going, well, you know, I don't know. Paul Heyman's very involved with Division right now, the stuff with Becky and Braun and Seth. And sure enough, we see Brock pass by Heyman in the back and give him a little pat on the chest there and saying, hey, you know, we should talk. Heyman with a big smile. And sure enough, Heyman comes out and it wasn't a part of this match, but introduced Brock Lesnar. So I thought that was very, very interesting. So I was very wrong on that. And so Vicious One, you got a point on that one on me for sure. She called it. You know, she knows wrestling very well. And the match itself was fascinating because you had Brock Lesnar, John Cena one more time. It was brutal. It was, you know, the guys coming stacked with 3 finishers each, like in the video game. Cena with multiple attitude adjustments, pins Lesnar. I'm like, Lesnar's going to kick out at 1. Lesnar, of course, kicks out. All the signature moves. And then Lesnar goes off. Just crazy, crazy F5s everywhere. Cena giving everything he's got. But I think it was about 7 F5s. Fairly quick. I had picked Cena to win this one just because of the lack of dates left. I'm thinking he's going to go out on his back, you know, with respect for the business. Again, I think it's going to be a Dom Mysterio or someone, or maybe a Gunther or someone of that ilk. But he loses here, and commentary made it very, very clear. And I'll shout out Kelvin too, because he had also, one of our guys, Kelvin Cately, shout him out. he had also said that he thinks Brock's going to win here. And I'm like, well, what do we do? Do we have a rematch here? Because Cena's only got 4 dates left. I'd love to see Joe Henry get his dream match with John Cena. Can we do this? Can we do this in TNA? But, it is in Massachusetts for Bound for Glory. Can we do this in some form or fashion? That won't count as one of Cena's dates. Make something special happen here. It's 4 dates. It's John Cena. Let's go all out. And he is leaving it all in the ring. But something else I noticed is that commentary constantly saying how Lesnar is back, Lesnar's here, Lesnar's back. So this makes me feel very much that this isn't a one-off. They were saying things like, the locker room better be warned that Lesnar is back. He's in his final form. I think they even used that phrase word for word. So they really shined a light on Lesnar being back. Heyman and Brock reconnecting was certainly noteworthy. I do want to talk about, I'm going to skip to what I thought was the match of the night, and that was Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky. I was so excited for this match. Every time they had crossed paths, 2 amazing women's wrestlers, nay, 2 amazing pro wrestlers, 2 of the best pro wrestlers on the planet. And you can see they've attached the jetpack to Stephanie Vaquer because Vaquer, in just 12 months with WWE, I believe that's what they said last night, correct me if I'm wrong, has won the NXT Women's Championship, the NXT Women's North American Championship, held both of them at the same time, the only woman to do that, and the first ever woman to do that, obviously, but had to relinquish the NXT North American Women's Championship so other people would get a chance. She loses the NXT Women's Championship to Jacy Jayne because they want her on the main roster, and we've been saying this for a while. She's on the main roster now. Naomi, congratulations to her and Jimmy Uso, now expecting, has to relinquish the WWE Women's World Championship. So now we finally, after all this time, finally, and I've been critical of this, we have Stephanie Vaquer, who also won the Evolution Battle Royale, beat everybody in a couple months here on the main roster. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe less than 10 matches on the main roster, and is now the Women's World Championship. Or the Women's World Champion, and rightfully so. I think if there's anyone you need to put a jetpack on, it's Stephanie Vaquer. I can't think of anyone in recent memory who I've seen just come in and impress me, not only with her wrestling ability, doing spiral taps, such an innovative moveset, and a nice hybrid of styles, but also listen to her interviews, listen to her story. She says, wrestling is my first language. She said, hey, I was poor and I was learning how to wrestle and I didn't always have food. Pro wrestling was my food. And I believe that was in a Busted Open interview with Bully Ray. She had also said things like she wanted to go to NXT to learn English a little bit better before she went to the main roster. That was her choice to go to NXT. She speaks Japanese, I believe, fluently, which allowed her to have, I think, this communication, not even just verbally, but in the ring with Io. We saw the quality of this match. It's what I expected in terms of how good it was. I thought the pace would be a little quicker, but I liked the pace of this match because first of all, they really sold Io's leg and the injury. And it wasn't slow, but like they went from move to move. They were selling the injuries. They were selling the emotion. And you talk about the ending of this match, you get that spiral tap, picture perfect, and you get that show of respect from Io. No, I'm sorry, first from Stephanie to Io, bowing in the ring, both ladies bowing to each other, embracing in the middle of the ring. This is not good guy, bad guy. Like I always say here, it doesn't always have to be good guy, bad guy. And I know it's a tale as old as time, and those are the most, I don't want to say important, but the most intriguing stories. But you can have babyface versus babyface for a title, for a tournament match. It can have emotion, and it can be really, really good. This may be up here for a match of the year contender. I want to know what you guys think about that. But Io, Stephanie, what a match, what a moment. And of course, I have to talk about this. Stephanie going out to the crowd with her dad, embracing her dad who supported her dream, the big hug. Stephanie crying. She was holding back tears. And what a moment. What a moment for Stephanie Vaquer. Match of the night, WrestlePalooza. And again, credit to Io Sky pulling out some moves I have not seen her do for a while, and some things for the first time as well. And I've been a big proponent of Io Sky for a while. So 2 of my favorites, Vaquer now with the Women's World Championship, an emotional night, an emotional match, potential match of the year in my book. Shout out Stephanie Vaquer and Io Sky. Tremendous job, both women. Let's get to our second match. I know I skipped ahead to the women's match, and I thought that stole the show. We're going to talk about we call them Team Bron Bron from the Vision, taking on Jay and Jimmy, the Usos. Great entrance. They ran it back. They played both Uso songs, which I thought was cool. And LA Knight is a special guest referee. This kind of went down exactly like we had predicted. Perhaps more of a heelish side of Jay Uso, the LA Knight of it all. We didn't have him as a special guest referee. I think that was announced pre-show, or was that SmackDown? I think it was the pre-show. Correct me if I'm wrong. But little last-minute addition. This was after our predictions, obviously. Perfect spot for LA Knight here. I do see LA Knight going fully fledged heel. I think the Jey Uso thing is a swerve. Although he could go heel, it would make sense. He's always been the hothead. Jimmy's saying, you're acting like Roman. And Roman has chosen him to be the next tribal chief, if you remember that Bloodline story. So I think there's a lot going on with the Bloodline, both on SmackDown and on Raw. Roman is coming back soon. He's obviously filming Street Fighters. So I'm interested to see what happens with the Bloodline headed towards Survivor Series. But this match was exactly what we expected, and it was a must-win for the Vision, Team Bron Bron, and they both looked great. Great match here, solid match. It made Bronson Reed, I thought, particularly look very, very strong, ending it with a tsunami. And, of course, the hostility between LA Knight and Jey Uso continues. So, solid match there. I think they accomplished the business that they needed to do. Vision looks strong. However, on the other side of the Vision, Seth Rollins, the world heavyweight champion, and Becky Lynch, the women's IC champion, take on the returning AJ Lee. She's lighting it up with her husband, CM Punk, in a mixed tag match. We saw, this was cool because it was like almost a tornado tag. I don't really know what the rules were necessarily. They did the kind of who's going to start thing, and then the tags kind of stopped. At one point, I wasn't even sure who was the legal man and the legal woman in terms of competing in that match, but we had the intergenderness of it all, where Punk even put a sharpshooter on Becky, and AJ locked the Black Widow submission onto Seth Rollins. So that was cool to see. I really forgot how cool the Black Widow submission is. It's very unique. That cannot be easy for her to just kind of stretch and contort her body in that way for that submission and hold it that long. I think she had it on Becky for like 2 minutes or something like that before it was broken up. So that was very impressive. Shout out AJ Lee, and heck of a return. Very little signs of ring rust. She's in phenomenal shape. I mean, I really can't say anything negative about that match. You know, I thought there was a level of silliness to it, which we had seen on Monday, but I think this is just the opportunity for two couples, two husband and wives, to face each other, which is pretty rare in a rare mixed tag match in WWE, and really have fun with it. And I'm sitting there like, oh, this is getting a little silly at times, but why not? Like, now's the time. This is different. Let's make a different kind of match. Let's make it silly. Let's have fun. Let's really let everybody shine in this match. And I feel like they did that. There were moments, there were some nice, like, 1-on-2 and 2-on-1 kind of tandem offense scenarios. So I thought this was really fun and just a really nice moment for AJ Lee and CM Punk. I've been critical of Becky Lynch in the past couple months, but it's all come together. Complete 180. I was wrong on that. It all makes sense now. Now that she's gotten away from the IC, Lyra, and Bayley feud of it all, this is perfect for Becky, who is officially part of the Vision. Looks like Paul Heyman's back. Monday Night Raw should be very, very interesting. So, solid job there. Again, I know people have been very critical of WrestlePalooza. I really, really enjoyed it. And I know there were some big moments. I did not get to watch All Elite Wrestling. I think it was All Out. I know some friends that were out there covering it. I heard it was a solid show, and there were some moments there. I only was able to watch, of course, WrestlePalooza. And guys, let me know what you think about, and we'll talk about this next week for sure, but let me know what you guys think about being able to access WrestlePalooza. Was it easy for you guys? It's, the new ESPN of it all, with this new merger with ESPN and WWE, this new deal, this new streaming service. It took some doing on my end to get it. At one point I'm like, oh, I might not be able to watch this. So very curious what everyone's experience was with the WWE WrestlePalooza being on ESPN. It's very interesting. It's new, but I do love to see ESPN and WWE working together. Sports, entertainment. Like Triple H said, sports has always been entertainment, and it always will be. The main event of the evening was the undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes defending against, the Scottish Warrior Drew McIntyre. These guys had a great hard-hitting match. The callback to the almost Claymore basement drop kick through the commentary table. First of all, great callback, very innovative move. I haven't seen that one so much, so that's very innovative for this feud. But the commentary tables and the set and the mat and everything really had even though the entranceway was just big screens, it looked really crisp, but the commentary tables were beautiful. The color scheme and the way they were laid out and just the apron and everything and the mat looked great. But shout out the commentary tables of all things. I thought it was fantastic. And this was a solid match here, but exactly what we expected. Cody takes the dub, retains. They, I think, framed this PLE as a lot of new viewers, a new audience, and new people watching WWE for the first time. And I think Cody getting the big win, like, hey, this is our guy, this is our baby face. And it was very, very cool to see how they framed this. I think I appreciated, and I don't think everyone saw it this way, but I appreciated the business of it. I appreciated the way that they framed this for people who may not know AJ Lee, may not know Cody Rhodes, may not know the Usos, and you have this fun family environment, with the big Yeet entrance, all that. So I think they framed it well. One thing I did notice on commentary, and I pay attention a lot to commentary, not just because I do it here on the Independents, which is not the same as doing it in the WWE, but your job is to tell a story, right? If someone slips up or things aren't framed correctly during the match, your job is to kind of make things make sense, So one thing I noticed, though, the story they were telling was Cody was like a step behind or wasn't quite himself, or he missed a step or was favoring a possible injury. Great job. Shout out Wade Barrett. Does a great job on commentary. But something I noticed, so I'm going to pay attention to that. Again, he's filming Street Fighter. I believe his part is done, which begs the question, what happens to Guile in this movie? Mark my words. But does he have to go film more stuff? Is he going to be away? Because they were just kind of really harboring on him missing a step or something nagging him. Or maybe he's just selling the injury from Drew, the interaction earlier. But I thought this was overall a solid WWE PLE. I really enjoyed watching it just because the beginning made it feel really, really big. An all-time match of the year competitor in my book. Maybe I'm off base on this, but I really enjoyed Stephanie Vaquer, who I think is one of the best pro wrestlers, not just women's, but pro wrestlers on the planet, versus Io Sky, another one of the best, not women's, but best pro wrestlers in not just the planet, in the universe. So great match, great moment. I'm excited to see where everyone goes from here. And again, John Cena, only 4 dates left. Let that sink in, guys. 4 dates left for John Cena. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. BCP is brought to you by our favorite store, Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, located in the Englishtown Flea Market in New Jersey from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays, and online at FunkensteinWrestlingSuperstore.com. Get your favorite wrestling merch, retro video games, Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, G.I. Joe, so much more. It's our favorite store. Thank you, Heather and Dan, for sponsoring the BCP. Also got to welcome back our sponsors, the No Gimmicks Podcast, the podcast that keeps it 100% real 100% of the time. Check out our guy Kelvin, only on the No Gimmicks Podcast. Wrestling All Day, All Night is the best wrestling discussion group on Facebook. We provide more of a community feel here, and have wrestling fans introduce other fans to something they may not have seen before, such as old school wrestling, indie wrestling, Japanese wrestling, and so much more. We also strive to be a source of information regarding upcoming wrestler meet and greets and signings. And remember, we're open 24/7, all day, all night. Be sure to follow on socials and join the group on Facebook at Wrestling All Day, All Night. Welcome back our sponsors, Sweet Chin Musings. Sweet Chin Musings is the creation of the reigning, rarely defending, highly disputed champion of wrestling podcast, Mr. Perfect, Mike Mueller, and his tag team partner in crime, Luke Kudialis. SCM focuses on the in-ring product of WWE and AEW, no dirt sheet rumors here, as well as backstage news, predictions, and analysis of characters, storylines, and major pay-per-views. Old school fans, don't worry, we have you covered as well, with a look back on classic matches, top 10 lists, and interactive tournaments that let the fans decide who is truly the best of all time. You can find them at Facebook at Sweet Chin Musings, and check out the podcast on all major podcast platforms. Please welcome back our sponsors on the BCP Plus and the podcast, GPW Productions. GPW provides your promotion or event with top-tier video, audio production, live streaming, and more. I can personally vouch for them in saying they are hands down the best production company I've ever worked with, as they have and continue to work with the likes of AEW, GCW, StarCast, MLW, not to mention the majority of the local independent promotions here in the tri-state area. They can even help you film a vignette or promo for your persona or gimmick. And guess what? GPW doesn't just work in wrestling. No, they cover MMA, boxing, basketball, or any other sporting event as well. On a personal note, I'd like to thank Mike Sesko, Frank Leone, O'Neil Andros, and the team for giving me multiple opportunities to work with them and some of the best talent in the world. Thank you, GPW, and guys, book GPW for your promotion or event today at contact@gpwproductions.com. Please welcome back one of our favorite sponsors, Mania Club. Established in 2015, Mania Club is a WWE-recognized community for fans with an eclectic love for both the world of professional wrestling and raising money for Connor's Cure. During WrestleMania weekend, we host the official tailgate of WrestleMania while also celebrating the life of Connor McCullough. They are the single largest donor within the V Foundation for Connor's Cure with over 150,000 raised. Please donate and join the Facebook group over at Mania Club on Facebook. Donate at jimmyv.org/Mania Club. Guys, please welcome in our new pod sponsor for the months of May and June, J. Adam Photography. Jay provides quality, artistic, innovative photography with a quick turnaround time. Be sure to check out his latest ISPW wrestling pics and much more stellar content. Right now, wrestlers can do a special portrait shoot with Jay in Sparta, New Jersey for just $50. Contact Jay at Jay Vogel on Facebook and be sure to follow him across socials. Thank you, Jay, for sponsoring the BCP. Guys, let's welcome in our new pod sponsor, Cooper Groove Grips. When you play Cooper Groove drumsticks, you get increased sensory feedback from your hands, so your grip will naturally loosen, but you have complete control. With that taking place, you don't have fatigue and soreness, which can lead to long-term issues. Guys, as a drummer, Cooper Groove is my drumstick of choice. Sweaty hands aren't a problem. Grip is good. And don't forget to check out their amazing Cooper Groove bats coming out soon. Guys, follow at Cooper Groove Grips on Facebook. Guys, please welcome in our new podcast sponsors, ISPW Weekly, where we dive deep into the world of ISPW, the crossroads of professional wrestling. Join Jumpin' Jay and Total with Tom every week as they interview the stars of the ring, uncover their stories, rivalries, and the electrifying action that defines ISPW. Be sure to check out ISPW Weekly on the ISPW Facebook page every week. Are you looking to press play on Feeling Good Again? Well, Twisted Shamrock Studios and Spa, our premier sponsor here on BCP Plus, Delaware County's Retro Recovery Rebels. They're here to rewind time and reboot the way you heal. From therapeutic massage and assisted stretch therapy to glow-up facials and energy work, this is where function meets feel good. Perfect for athletes, overachievers, and everyday Joes and Janes who need real relief with a vintage twist. Not to mention pro wrestlers. Reboot your body, recharge your soul. Rock the retro vibe. Call or text 484-574-8868 or visit twistedshamrockstudiosSpa.com. Guys, please welcome back our returning podcast sponsor, USDN. USDN Podcast is run by USDN Chairman and the Council of Nerds. We bring you all the latest news and rumors from the world of nerds and consolidate it right here at the U.S. Department of Nerds. USDN is for the people, by the people, and of the people. Follow them at facebook.com/US Department of Nerds. Guys, please welcome in our new pod sponsor for 2025, the Ropes and Riffs Podcast, featuring Maestro John Kiernan speaking with the stars of professional wrestling about their in-ring, tunage, gear, and so much more. Check out John's interviews with the likes of Lince Dorado, Mercedes Martinez, and so much more. Find the Ropes and Riffs Podcast on all major podcast platforms. Guys, please welcome back our returning sponsor, From the Left Side. Get hit from the left side with all the wrestling and sports news you can handle. Thank you, From the Left Side, for sponsoring the BCP. Please welcome back our returning sponsor, independent superstars of pro wrestling ISPW, ahead of their Wild West Wrestling Showdown. That's going to be Friday, September 19th at Wild West City in Byram Township, New Jersey, starting at 7:30 p.m. It's going to be Leo Sparrow challenging Justin Corino for the ISPW Heavyweight Championship. Evil Chica teams with Vicious Vicky Venuto against Tina San Antonio, Ava Everett. Many more matches. Get your tickets now at ISPWWrestling.com. Please welcome back our returning sponsor, Warriors of Wrestling, ahead of their acclaimed King of New York tournament Saturday, September 6th at Fun Station in Staten Island, New York. Get your tickets now at warriorsofwrestling.com. Don't forget to get your tickets to Bree Combination Wrestling, the Grand Rumble, a tribute to Mama Pan. That's going to be Sunday, September 21st at the Mecca, 106 Bergen Ave, Richfield Park, New Jersey, for the Grand Rumble. Don't forget the BCW World Heavyweight Champion, the Allfather, Darius Carter, defends against Kelsey Reagan. Get your tickets now, and don't forget it'll be streaming on Title Match Network. Please welcome back returning BCP sponsor, Bell to Bell, ahead of Saved by the Bell, September 20th, 2025 at 3 p.m. at the world-famous Monster Factory. Check out matches like Vicky Venuto taking on Gabby Ortiz, Haas House versus Leah Knight and Taylor One Shot. Don't forget, you'll see former WWE superstar Tegan Knox, Lena Cross, and many more. Get your tickets now at belltobell.com. Guys, please welcome back a returning sponsor, EM Collectibles. That's right, they feature live signings, collectibles, toys, and more. Be sure to follow them on their Facebook page and stay tuned for upcoming events. Those upcoming events include September 6th, Veteran Pro Wrestling presents September to Remember, a special appearance by American Gladiator, Malibu, and Glow Star Tiffany Milan. September 27th, 90s Wrestling Con with Scotty Riggs. October 25th, Glory Days Grapple Con 3 with Brutus Beefcake, Harvey Whippleman, Bill Alfonso, and one more possible name. May 2nd, 2026, New England Fan Fest with Adam Ball, Henry Whippleman, The Headbangers, and Power of Pain. Please welcome our newest podcast sponsor. It's the SDN Podcast for in-depth WWE predictions, pay-per-view reviews, and insightful interviews with wrestling personalities. I highly recommend the SDN Podcast. They cover all the big events and give you expert analysis every single week. Be sure to subscribe and stay updated on everything pro wrestling. Thank you, SDN Podcast, for sponsoring the BCP.